know what is what.
Yeah, they're dead. They're all messed up.
This is Take of the Living Dead.
Steve Bannon's he was Trump's
I thought you said
of-
Steve
chief-
Madden. My bad.
chief of staff.
Damn, Steve Madden. Imagine.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I was like,
Imagine.
Steve Madden. Like, what the fuck?
He thought he was on Steve Bannon, and Steve Bannon wasn't prepared for these questions. He's like, we're going to start a revolution. He's like, yes, it is a shoe revolution. Apple leather. It's the wave of the future. It's eco-friendly. It's better for the environment.
Damn, apple leather? That sounds like a real thing. Is that a real thing?
That is a real thing.
Oh, okay.
Is it made out of apples?
Yeah. It's like
Oh.
they dry out the apples to make it like leathery. It's cool, but it's not like that.
Okay.
Nothing's as durable as like regular ass leather.
Yeah.
That's like the is that like a step below like like fruit leathers, like dehydrated fruits?
Dog, what do you think an apple is?
That is what it is.
So but like they just used it
It's
for
fucking-
shoes, but you can eat it. Like how do you get it different?
Oh, are you
Probably
talking about?
treated
Are
a
you talking
different
about like dried apricots and shit like that?
Yeah, and they sell them at like Trader Joe's and they call them fruit leathers.
Oh, I don't know. Were they? Oh,
Well,
they're the
it's
things-
like fruit
yeah, I know what
roll-ups.
you're talking about. Yeah, they're
Like
like
natural fruit
roll-ups.
roll-ups.
Mm.
I think
So
those
they
are just
made fruit roll-ups into shoes.
blended together with like gelatin and stuff.
Yeah, it probably
Oh.
has more like additives. It's not just like fruit shoes. You're just tearing through the fucking shoes when you wear them outside. They're only good for like
Eating
one
them?
wear.
They're multi-use. You can eat them and wear them.
They help with foot odor. They help your feet smell like apples.
They just make your feet all fucking sticky.
You step outside and you just instantly get covered in ants.
You're
and
like
eaten
Spider
by a
Man, dude.
bear.
You start running up fucking trees and shit. It just sticks up. It's like suction.
Damn.
All right, you guys ready? Should we get into it?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cult of the Living Dead. This week we are covering the 2001 comedy movie by Broken Lizard, Super Troopers. Just a quick reminder to everybody, we are a movie podcast. We cover cult classics, B movies, and horror. None of us are academically trained in movie critique, but we all love movies, so just keep in mind, all these opinions are subjective. So enjoy the ride, people. Thank you for being here. I am your host, The Dale, followed by my two co-hosts, Mr. Cea
Yo.
and Twan.
What up?
All right, guys. So Super Troopers. So this is a movie I know we're all familiar with. It's fucking one of probably the most famous of the Broken Lizard movies. For those of you not familiar, think of Broken Lizard kind of like National Lampoon or like the Judd Apatow type of group. It's just like a group of comedic minds who do all these movies together, or like Adam Sandler's crew. What are they called? The Happy Madison group.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's just all these guys who just do movies together. Usually one of them's the director. They all write them together. So the director is Jay Chandrasekhar. So you're going to hear a lot of like repeats in this. Like I said, they all do movies together. So he's, he directed Beer Fest, Club Dread, The Baby Makers. He also did Dukes of Hazzard, which I forgot that he did, the remake with Sean William Scott and was it Johnny Knoxville?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did that one. And then he also wrote the movie along with Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy. They're also starring the movie. So I'm just gonna, instead of reading off everyone, I'm gonna read the characters, and they all were in all these movies together. So Jay Chastiger, he's the director. He also starred in their other movies, Club Dread, Beer Fest, Slam and Salmon. Their most recent one is Quasi, which is on Hulu. He plays Thorny. Then Mac is played by Steve Lemmy, who was also in all those movies I listed before, plus their TV series, Tacoma FD. We have Rabbit, played by Eric Stolhansky. He's also in all those movies. Farva, played by Kevin Hofferman, also in all those movies. Foster, played by Paul Stoder, also in all those movies. Ursula, played by Marissa Coughlin. She's in a bunch of other stuff. So she was in Freddy Got Fingered. I'm pretty sure she was the chick in the wheelchair, and she was in Pumpkin. Did you guys ever see Freddy Got Fingered?
Man, it's been so long.
I just remember that like she could only like have an orgasm if you like whack her legs. So like, what's his
Damn.
name? Jeff Green? Is it Jeff Green?
Tom Green.
Tom Green is just like whacking her fucking legs with like a yardstick, and she's like coming, and he swings too hard and like hits her across the face.
Yeah, I don't remember that movie at all.
That movie's
Man,
terrible. That movie's terrible. I just remember
the
that
sausage.
specific scene. Oh, Daddy, would you like some
sausage? It's like, what is this?
That movie's terrible. I can't believe Tom Green became famous. And then we have Captain O'Hagan, who's played by Brian Cox. He's probably most well known for Succession. He's the father, and he's also Agamemnon in the movie Troy. And he was in the movie Churchill. Brian Cox is like a pretty prolific actor. He's in a lot of stuff.
He was also in the Bourne movies. He's the guy that says Jesus Christ. It's Jason Bourne.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's also that guy. He's in a gang of stuff, dude. I was going through his like IMDb, like I'm like, dude, he's in so much shit. Like, which ones do I pick? I'm like, all right, people will know him from Succession because it's like the most recent thing he was in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I guess I think people will recognize him from Troy.
He was William Stryker in X2.
Oh, that's right. He was William Stryker in X2. Wait, is that X-Men United?
Is that X-Men?
Yeah.
I think that isn't that what's X3?
Fuck. I don't know.
Phoenix.
No, Phoenix is the like.
Yeah.
Is it
That
Phoenix?
is, right? I think.
Oh yeah, they do two. They have two Phoenix movies. That's right.
They do?
Yeah, because they have the later one with
The
the
Last
Days of.
Stand.
Oh, it's the Last Stand. The Phoenix
Mm.
is in that one. They do have X-Men Phoenix. That's the what's his name movies with Fassbender and
First Class.
Yeah, the First Class group. They have their own Phoenix
Yeah.
because it's the chick from Game of Thrones is Jean Grey.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but it's a different Stryker. It's a younger Stryker.
Yeah,
This is
it's not Brian Cox.
Old man Stryker.
Yeah, like I said, they all do movies together. Broken Lizard Group. I think this is probably their most famous movie. So we're
Either
probably
this or
gonna
Beer Fest.
yeah, this or Beer Fest. But I mean, Super Troopers did get a sequel, so
It did.
all right. So we're all very familiar with this movie. Spoiler alert, I'm pretty sure we're all gonna have like pretty good scores. But the wheel was kind to us this week and it gave us Super Troopers. So Cea, what is your like history with this movie? How many times have you seen this movie? You know, give us your first impressions.
I don't know. I think I've seen this movie a handful of times. I mean, it came out in 02,
2001.
01. So
Never forget.
this is like
Never forget.
fuck, I forgot. This is like a nostalgic kind of movie. Then I was looking forward to watching it again because it had been a while. And I think every time I mean, because of this podcast, every time I watch a movie now, I kind of try to analyze it a little bit further. So it was a nice watch to do it again.
Nice. What about you, Twan?
Man, I think I watch this movie at least once a year. I've
Nice.
watched this movie at least once a year for the past, I don't know, 15 years. It's a great movie, man. It's I love watching it. Every time I watch it, it's fun. I laugh every time. Like the jokes, they as many times as I've seen them, they don't get old. It's just a great movie overall, and just giving myself a reason to watch this, it's always a good time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm right there with you. Like I've seen this movie countless times. Speaking of like weed, I think the first time I saw this movie was being stoned at like my homie's house. You know what? I saw this for the first time I ever smoked weed. I think I saw this movie.
Damn.
This
Nice.
movie fucking rocks. I did fall asleep though because it was my first time. I knocked out on the couch. But this movie was fucking awesome. I love this movie. It's hilarious. We'll get into it later. I am kind of shocked by some of the ratings that it's gotten during its period when it
Yeah.
was released, considering how successful it was. But it was pretty dope. And I think the opening sequence to this movie, if you guys want to jump into it, is probably the most quotable part of this movie with the Snozberries taste like Snozberries. I forgot how fucking hilariously intense the like opening sequence to this movie is. So it
What do
starts off with like it just says like Vermont near the border, and like these three stoner guys are driving in their car trying to get to we later find out they're trying to get to Canada because they want to get some poutine, which is pretty dope. That's a dope like little trip, dude. You just like get high as fuck and just drive across the border to go get poutine. So they're driving out there, they're fucking they're chilling, and then they see a cop coming from the and they're like rear view. So they start freaking out. So their buddy in the back, what was his name? I think it's like Gregory Audrey, the actor. Because he's
Yeah,
actually
Joffrey Arden.
Joffrey Arden, because he's actually been in other stuff.
Yeah, he was in Devil.
That's right. He was a devil. He's that guy, probably the most successful side character in this movie. They ask him to eat like a bag of weed. So he just fucking shovels that shit in. He's like, the whole thing. He's like, come on, man. He's like, all right, fuck it. So he eats the whole bag of weed. And then his buddy in the front is like, in these two. And he busts out like an eighth of shrooms. And he's like, fuck it. So he eats the eighth of shrooms. The cops put on their sirens. They pull over. And then they turn on their sirens and they take off. And they're like, holy shit. They like start freaking out. And then they're like talking, they're like, holy shit, that was crazy. And then don't they like teleport and they end up behind them again?
Yeah. So they pulled him over. They ask him, license registration. Do you know how fast you were going?
Oh yeah, 60, 65? He's like,
Yeah.
63.
Yeah. and he's like, I thought the speed limit was 65.
It is.
and then yeah, they bump heads trying to go and grab it, trying to get the registration, and then when they come back up, the cops are getting into the cruiser.
That's right.
And then they take off, and then this dude's like, oh man, I was about to pull out my gat and bust a cap in those cops' ass.
Oh yeah, then he stops and he like reverses.
Yeah.
He's like burning fucking rubber, dude. He reverses, stops like, I don't know, like a quarter mile away from them, then burns rubber again, pulls up to them, and he's like, pull the car over. He's like, we're already pulled over. It's already pulled over, sir. We can't pull it over anymore. That shit had me fucking busting up, dude.
Yeah.
That's what they start at. Then they do the whole routine, right? They're like lashed into registration.
Yeah.
Is this when he tells him, he's like, you smell that, rabbit? He's like, smells like fear. And he's like, you're, what's he say? You're littering and.
Yeah, and then all the while, this guy in the back is like,
he's
peeking.
peeking hard, dude. Like he leans in, he's like, I'm freaking out, man. He's like, you are freaking out, man. That shit was fucking funny. This dude looks fucking gone too. Like they did a good job. Like his eyes are fucking glossed over.
Mm-hmm.
Like his fucking pupils are fucking dilated. Like he
still had
looks
weed and stuff in his teeth.
Oh yeah, that's right. He still had weed in his teeth.
Like he was still chewing, or at least trying to chew.
He looked fucked up. So these guys are freaking out, and then this dude in a fucking white Miata zooms by, and he's like, "Fuck you, coppers!" And they're like, "Mother of God!" So they load all the guys into the fucking back of the cruiser, and then they go on this high speed chase after this dude in the Miata. Then we get introduced to Foster, who's he's Unit 91, and he's getting called by radio to go after this high speed chase. But he put his fucking like a dummy in the front seat so he can go fishing. It looked like he caught a trout, which is pretty sick. And then they fucking destroy his dummy. They keep driving. They end up at a bar, and they all like bust out their guns to go get him. Is this where the guy licks the window while they're inside? And he's like, "The snozberries taste like snozberries."
Yeah.
This is the dude that's peeking. He's just fucked up. They get to the bar, and they find out that it's Mac. He's another cop who's playing a prank on them. So he has a bunch of shots lined up, and they have to pay him because they didn't realize that it was him. He wins the bet. And this fucking dude comes out of the bar, just starts like blasting the gun and jumps in the cruiser. And he's like, "You boys like Mexico?" And he just fucking hijacks the car. And that's the fucking opening scene.
Great
I,
opening scene.
I remember this scene, but because I haven't seen this movie in probably like 3 years. I did watch it pretty regularly, but I don't watch it as often as you do, Twan. I forgot how fucking unhinged and hilarious this fucking opening scene is.
Yeah, it's one of the better opening scenes in a comedy movie. I mean, we get introduced to pretty much all the main characters, and we're shown like that these guys just get into fucking shenanigans all the time, and it's sets up the movie well. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I like that it's like it immediately starts off like really silly. Like all these guys are just real silly gooses. And it was a nice transition because I think every time we've seen cops in other movies, they were all not good people. So it was fun to watch this and to have them just immediately like just pulling some wild pranks. I think for me, like I really love the opening scene. I think the opening scene is probably my favorite part of the movie just because you're just introduced to them without any context of just the shit that they pull on like a random group of stoners. And they just fuck with them so hard. It's so hilarious. And the dude tripping out in the back, like he doesn't know what's going on. He's trying to like hold on to grass and like just be okay. And these cops are just fucking with him to the highest extent ever. It was so funny.
I think this movie does a good job of like portraying someone being high.
It does.
Yeah.
Because it does it multiple times.
Yeah, I feel like most movies struggle to show what it feels like or looks like to be faded. And this one fucking hits the fucking nail on the head for sure.
And there's a scene or like some dialogue that I thought was pretty funny in this scene between the two stoners. So the guy in the front, after the cops kind of leave, he's like, dude, you must have ate about $100 worth of weed and like $30 worth of shrooms. So I'm gonna need that $130 whenever you get a chance. It's like, fuck.
Even his homie in the front seat is like, that's not cool, man.
Oh,
that was fucked up, dude. That was pretty fucking fucked up. I heard that. I was like, oh, what a fucking douchebag.
Right? This dude took one for the team, and you're still gonna ask him for the money back.
Like,
tough.
Jesus Christ.
It's a typical drug dealer for you, though, right?
Yeah, typical druggy homie, unreliable. and then the movie, they just like continuously just do like some unhinged shit. So then after the opening scene, does it go straight to the diner?
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes
straight to them chugging.
Yeah, it goes straight to the diner where fucking Rabbit and Thorny are fucking chugging maple syrup.
Yep.
So I guess like when they filmed this, originally it was like sweet tea that they were chugging, but it didn't look real enough. So they are chugging actual maple syrup in these scenes. They did it about 6 times, dude.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. And they like record the full bottle chug. Like you see them chug. That's real syrup.
Real
syrup.
Oh man.
They're all diabetics.
My blood sugar is just fucking boiling right now.
Dude, that's crazy. Like I read that, I was like, no way. Because it said it took them like 6 times to get the scene right. Like, so they chugged like 6 bottles worth of, maybe not the full bottle if they fucked up like right away, but still at least a couple bottles worth of maple syrup a piece.
Yeah.
And I guess not. And then they used the like sweet tea for like some of the wide shots, but all the close-ups are straight up fucking maple syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
They couldn't get the viscosity right.
Yeah, they couldn't get the viscosity right.
That hurts my tummy.
I mean,
Your tum-tums?
That's a lot.
Tum-tums.
That's a lot of maple syrup.
Yeah.
And then I like how and then immediately we're introduced to the like bad guys, right? So they beef it with the local police, the Snozberries police. So the Stadies and the local police fucking hate each other because, well, the local police are a bunch of fucking dickheads, and they think that the state police are a bunch of idiots because they're all doing all these fucking gags, which are hilarious. And then we see Foster's Mr. Loverboy, and he's trying to get at Ursula. Like he immediately just like beelines it for her and just starts like hitting on her. And she's feeling your boy, but not too hard. Just playing hard to get. And then everybody, but there's one universal truth in this entire movie, though. Everybody fucking hates Farva. Everybody hates Farva. Farva's a fucking dickhead. So we learned that Farva's suspended. Something about like a school bus incident.
Yeah.
But we don't find out what it is until like the very, very end of the movie, like the end credit scene. But I thought this fucking their whole beef at the Spurberry and then everyone shitting on Farva was fucking hilarious. I like with when Mac he throws the fucking the syrup at the guy and it hits him in the head. He's like, "Hey, sit down, man." And he's like, "Oh, fine, fuck it." And he sits down and he fucking throws another one at him.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then-
fucking dick.
Dude, so within like the first 15 minutes of this movie, there was already a joke about fucking Jay's character, Thorny. When they meet up, what's his name, Mac, at the bar, he says something about his black magic.
Oh yeah,
And
he's
then-
like brown magic.
And he's like brown magic. And then when they're in the diner, it's like I'll take a chinchilla. He's like chinchilla.
It's some tacos.
Yeah. It's like,
And he's
they think I'm Mexican. He's like, "Oh, you're not Mexican?"
fucking rabbit. They're all fucking racist.
All racist.
There's another thing that the fucking the captain says later when they're talking about Johnny Chippo. Because he thinks he's Arabic. And he's like, "I have no fucking idea, Captain." Like nobody knows what Thorny is.
It's racist.
Oh,
but it's
Racially
still funny.
ambiguous.
That food definitely looks like he's like Indian, dude. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
to all these white people, they have
Looks
no idea.
Indian, Pakistani, one of the two. He looks like he's from that region of the world where his ancestors are. Oh my god! And then it cuts from there to them doing the cat game, right? Between Mac and Foster.
No, it goes to the morning briefing.
Oh, that's right. This is where everyone shits on Farva.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like being a fucking dickhead. And then he put a bar of soap in the rookie's coffee.
Classic.
And Mac's like, "Bite the soap, make him feel like a dick. Bite the soap, make him feel like a dick." And he's like he's like, "Shut up, dude." The captain's speaking because the captain's telling him that their numbers are down and they're about to be shut down, right?
Yeah.
Between them and like 2 other precincts. And he's like, "Dude, we got to pull it together. We got to get these numbers up or we're going to be gone." And then he's like, "Oh, grab the fuck." Oh, he did. He bites the soap and he fucking spits it in Mac's face.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
he's trying to deliver some pretty heavy news to them, and these guys are just up to their antics.
They're always up to the antics. I feel bad for the captain.
Always. Even like towards the end of the movie, when like they should have kind of tightened up. Like, it's like the very next scene, some crazy antics going on.
Yeah, because they have this briefing and then literally the next scene they're doing the cat game, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like where they bets Foster Mac bets Foster that he can't say meow 10 times.
Mhm.
That shit was hilarious. I love the cat game.
Yeah.
So
We get
this
a cameo.
with Jim Gaffigan.
Yep.
The cat game is hilarious. So he actually does it 11 times, not 10 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys count it? I just read it afterwards.
I counted it.
I've read it afterwards.
He's like, "Listen here, meow." He's like, "I'm sorry, are you saying meow? Am I saying meow, son? Do I look like a cat? Do I have whiskers? Do you see me drinking from a saucer boy? Am I jumping around all bimbly nimbly like?"
Nimbly bimbly. What I like about it is that the whole time you can see Mac laughing on the other
it's like-
side of the
it's
car.
Like the car's like shaking and shit.
And this guy wants to laugh so because he knows he's obviously saying meow, but he's getting gaslit.
Gaslit. It's a thing that he's not.
Oh man.
I mean, the way it starts out, like, "Listen here, last 11 sessions now." It's like, what? Like the first couple times, I'm like, "What the fuck? Am I hearing this right or am I fucking dumb?"
That's a funny game.
That's a good game.
They have good games throughout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their pranks are lighthearted.
Yeah, they say later, like, our pranks are lighthearted and fun, whereas Farva's are fuck. What did he say? I'm forgetting, but Farva's just anti-fun. Like he's like evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
He's like, "Our
fun."
shenanigans are lighthearted and fun, where Farva's shenanigans are mean and cruel." He's like, I'm gonna pistol whip the next person that says shenanigans. Hey, Farmer, what's that? What's that restaurant you like with all this shit on it?
Pops his head out.
Oh,
Oh, shenanigans? They're
You guys
like,
talk about
oh,
shenanigans, right? That's just funny.
yeah, the dialogue in this movie is fucking great.
Oh, so they finish the cat game, and then Thorny and Rabbit respond to a call where they see the local PD are they're investigating a Winnebago. So they go into the Winnebago and they find a dead girl with her face stuck in like it looks like it's like pig food, right?
Yeah, like a dog food bowl.
Yeah, they're all getting mad at Rabbit because he keeps touching the victim with his fucking finger like an idiot. And they see that she has a tattoo of Johnny Chimpo on him. He's like a monkey who's like jerking off in a like using a banana as like a fleshlight.
Yeah.
And they're all beefing it over like whose jurisdiction there is, and then they hear like a rumbling in like the room at the end of the Winnebago, and they open it, and there's a fucking pig, and they're like they all get scared and fucking jump out. And fucking Mac shows up. He's like, "Hey, you got a hog problem?" He jumps in to like wrestle the pig, and he comes up, and he's all bloodied and like fucked up. Oh, that was fucking funny, dude. And then this is where I forget what starts it, but then they get into a brawl, right?
Yeah, they're fighting over whose jurisdiction it is or who's gonna take the case.
That's right. That's right. They get into a big argument about it, and then punches are thrown. They get into a tussle. And I like how even though Mac got fucked up by the pig, him and Thorny are the only two state troopers that are still standing.
Yeah.
Like Foster and Rabbit are handcuffed. And like he's like, all right, I'll give you the ugly fat one for Foster and Rabbit. And Ursula's like, you gotta be more specific. I don't know who you're talking about. They're all pretty ugly and fat. And then the chief gets fucking pissed at them, right? Because their brawl made it onto the paper. Thorny ultimately said, fuck it, you guys can have the case. And the chief is like, what are you doing, dude? There's a fucking murder on the highway in our jurisdiction. You get into a brawl and then you fucking give the case away. Like, we solve a murder, like it's gonna be harder for them to fucking fire us. Like, what are you doing? In the meantime, he's like laying into them. Now the fucking locker closed and fucking Rabbit stuffed in there. They just blasted him with fucking shaving cream. I like how he comes out and everyone's all sad because he just got chewed out, and he's like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go wash this off then.
Yeah.
Every time, dude, they like fuck up. And then the captain goes and like tells them, like, dude, get your shit together. And they're always up to doing something fucking stupid. Every single time. It's like they want to get their fucking precinct closed.
Yeah, they really don't have a care in the world.
They're addicted to it.
Yeah. I mean, seems like a fun work environment.
Oh, it seems like a fucking great work environment. It's fucking lighthearted.
Yeah.
So then we end up at the baseball game. Foster's putting his moves on Ursula. Thorny's coaching his kids' little league team. One of the other douchebag coaches, his son's a fucking pitcher. This is fucked up too. He tells his kid to try and fucking hit Thorny's kid with the ball. I'm like, what a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Dude, so was Ursula dating that guy or was she just there?
She was just there.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to talk to him to like get herself to be on the road, right? Because she's radio.
Dispatch.
Yeah, she's dispatch.
Yeah, I think all the whole cop crew were there at the game.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because some of them were out of uniform and some of them were in uniform.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think only one was in uniform.
The one with the black beard, huh?
Yeah, they probably did a shift change.
Yeah, probably. So Foster goes, he's like putting his moves on fucking Ursula, and he's like, oh, I owe you a punch after our brawl. And she's like, all right, fine, hit me. And then then a fucking foul ball comes and hits her on the chin. She fucking smashes his head with a snow cone. So I guess when they filmed that, they were supposed to like, it's a real snow cone, it's like a block of ice, and they're gonna exchange it for a snow cone with like softer ice.
Mm-hmm.
But it took 9 takes before they got the softer one. So fucking what's the actor's name? Paul Stoddard.
Mm-hmm.
He got smashed in the head 9 times by a solid block of ice.
Damn.
Dude, that should have fuck you up.
Poor guy.
Hey, that's fucked up.
It's cold,
It's cold. I like how Foster's just like relentless though, because literally right after this
dude.
scene, doesn't he? There, like, he goes to the Spurbury headquarters with Captain O'Hagan, and they're trying to like work out a deal to work together on the what's it called?
On the murder.
On the murder.
Yeah, he shows up to the police station with the folder.
Yeah, and the guy does it. And he's like, could you get me Charlie Chimpo, Billy the Baboon, and Curious George and bring them in for questioning? And this dude's just like relentlessly hitting on her, and they just start beefing it. I love Foster's shotgun approach.
Yeah, the guy's persistent. He knows what he wants.
I mean, it works.
It
Spoiler
did.
alert. Or did it?
Definitely felt like it did. It's like what do you call it? The law of averages, right? You got to
Yeah.
get your numbers up. You keep
Eventually.
trying. Or there was a Family Guy bit with James Bond, and he's like telling a girl that he's gonna sleep with her. He's like, I'm gonna take you to bed now, and she's like, no. It's like, yes, no, yes, and they do it for like 7 times, and he's like, 7 no's and 1 yes equals a yes.
Law of averages. Jesus Christ. Fucking James Bond. And then while this scene is going on where he's arguing with the captain, at the same time, is it Mac? Oh, it's Mac and Foster, right? So this happens after. They get locked in the truck.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They're
so they-
doing repeat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that's right. They pull over, this truck misses a way in, and they see the local guy, like, they think he's gonna pull him over, and they're like, fuck that, dude, this is our turf. So they pull him over, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna do the repeater. So this is where they like, he'll say something, and then the other guy repeats the exact same thing. And fucking Foster's like, nah, dude, like, no repeater. We got to get our shit together. Captain's orders. And he's like, you got it? He's like, I got it. He's like, I'm being serious. He's like, I'm being serious. He's like, I'm a fucking idiot. He's like, oh, yes, you are. So the guy's like, he's like, oh, sorry, officers, I'll weigh in the next one. He's like, what are you getting? He's like, what are you pulling? He's like, soap, I think. I don't know. He's like, oh, we're going to take a look. He's like, all right, fine. Then he fucking locks him in the back of the truck. And they're in there for 2 hours. And I like when they open it, Max is like, and that was the first time I caught crabs.
Just the comedy in this movie, man. Love it.
And then they rip Thorny's like, well, let's see what this guy's hauling. And they rip open a box. And he's like, they're hauling like pounds of weed, like literal pounds,
Bricks.
like massive bricks of weed.
Yeah.
And then the weed also has the same picture of Johnny Chimpo on it, the sticker of Johnny Chimpo. We find out Johnny Chimpo is like an Afghan ripoff of a Japanese chimp character.
Pianist animation.
Yeah, it's Afghanimation. Because then it's a rabbit who puts forth the idea. He's like, well, they have Johnny Chimpo on here, and the dead girl we found also has a tattoo of Johnny Chimpo. And they're like, it's a little loose, but maybe we'll look into it. And at the same time, the mayor comes in. He comes in for a photo shoot, and they're like, the mayor's like, can I get a fucking gun for the picture? And they fucking toss him a shotgun. She's all loaded up. That shit was fucking funny, dude. It's like, that's some small town shit right there. And so we learned their plan is to use the mayor to talk to the governor in combination with their drug bust in order to try and get them to save the precinct. And it seems like the mayor's on their side, right?
Seems like it. I mean, he's obviously
point.
one of those like gun-toting anti-drug guys.
Yeah, I think like most politicians are anti-drug people,
True.
even the ones that love them.
That's what
So
the
that-
public wants.
The public wants. Public wants weed, God damn it. Oh my god. All right, so the mayor gets pulled up, and then we this is where we meet the German couple, right? And they're flying through on the Porsche, and they're like, why when they pull him over, and he's like, you know why I pulled you over? He's like, because we are going way too fast.
I thought I'm so used to driving on the Autobahn.
So used to driving onto Autobahn. and his wife is wearing like this skimpy ass skirt dress thing, and she's just like flashing Rabbit the underwear, and because Thorny's like, you got to go handle this one. He's got his kid in the back seat. He's like, all right. He's like, you got it. Make me proud. And the guy's like, he's like, is there something we can do to get out of this ticket? Maybe there's something my wife can do, or maybe something you can do to her. But then they get the call from fucking radio, fucking Farva, and he's like, hey, dude, that fucking car is hot. So Thorny's like, damn. He goes up to Rabbit. He's like, hey, dude, what are you doing? This car's stolen, dude. We got to pull it in. Rabbit's like, God damn it, Thorny, I need this.
Yep.
He just like immediately starts like making out with this chick like on the fucking highway, dude, like on the hood of the fucking car. And then they arrest him. There's a lot of like sexual tension between the group, and fucking Rabbit's all fucking blue balled, poor Rabbit.
And Thorn tells his son, I don't know if did you mention that he had his son with him?
Yeah. And so, and he tells him, he's like, why don't you sit on Uncle Rabbit's lap? And he's like, that's not a good idea right now, Thorny.
It's like a quick little I got a boner right now mention.
I love how the German couple keeps like popping up throughout like the whole rest of the movie.
Yeah.
They're at Thorne's house later on.
That's right, that Thorne's house. He's like, he understands Afghan, he's like, or Arabic, so he's like translating for them later on.
Yeah, when they're getting faded. And then Thorne kind of mentions, during that initial interaction, he's like, any other day I would teach you how to swing.
Oh, well,
but not today.
That's right. Him and Rabbit are having a conversation because he's asking, he's like, because I guess they're like polygamous, kind of, right? I think they're swingers.
Yeah.
Because he asked his son, he's like, does your mom have anyone come over? Anyone you call uncle? And he's like, yeah, like Uncle so-and-so. He's like, who's Uncle so-and-so? And he's like, oh, He's just like silly little bird. And he's like, oh, okay. So like they get around, but only, I guess, with each other, right? So I guess they're swingers.
Yeah.
I guess like that's what's hinted at, which later plays out later on in the movie.
Because his Thorny's wife is a free spirit. That one, she's like the complete opposite of what Thorn is, I guess, because she's like some hippie
chick. Oh, that's right.
Free-spirited girl.
He even says it at the ball
shop.
game. Yeah,
yeah, she does.
Because he's talking to her about how they're gonna get closed down, and she's like, "Just work for me." And he's like, "Yeah, right." Ex-cop works for his hippie girlfriend. That's right. So then Rabbit tries to pull a Mac, right? And he takes the Porsche out for another speed chase. And I like how Farva is just like a fucking fat fuck, and he sees that like with every 10 gallons of gas you fill up, he's filling up his Camaro, and it's like every 10 gallons you get a free hot dog, and he gets to like 9.1 gallons. So he just pours like a gallon of gas into a fucking trash can just to get a free hot dog. That fucking gallon of gas is probably more expensive than the goddamn hot dog was.
I think it was less than
maybe
a gallon.
during that time.
Was it? I thought it was like
less than a
0.9.
gallon. He was at like 9 point something, and then he saw it, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna put the rest in here." But yeah, I mean, what, like the northeastern United States around the
like
year
$1
2000?
something.
Yeah,
Even cheaper, maybe. So I remember specifically in that time period watching the news with my parents at my grandma's house, and they announced that gas was going up to like $2.30 a gallon. And my parents and my aunts and uncles are like, "What the fuck? That's ridiculous."
I miss those days.
all right, what a time.
Just for a comparison, real quick, gas in California today
Mhm.
is averaging 6.08. In Vermont, it's averaging 3.5.
6.8? Goddamn.
3.5 today.
3.5 today.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
like
then
I gotta
back
cost
then
me.
it was
Fuck that.
definitely like less than $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
Definitely. Probably in the cents, huh?
Imagine 70 cents per gallon. Oh my god,
Be driving around.
that's
so
dirty talk
much.
right there.
Fuck the environment. Give me a fucking 8-gallon car.
Gave me a wetty.
Give me a Wetty. Give me an H2. 11 miles highway. No, that's fine. Oh, yeah.
No.
Fucking Farva and his fucking bullshit. So then he sees he sees the Porsche fly down and he's like, oh shit. And he hops in his Camaro, fucking chases after him. The Porsche flies by Mac, who's like looking at a billboard of like this blonde chick blowing on dice, and he's like stroking his dick. And then he starts fucking recording his fucking stroke speed. He gets up to like 54 miles an hour or something like that.
60.
Is it 60?
Yeah.
This is
dude.
fucking.
It sounds dangerous, like starting a fire.
Right?
This
He's just fucking rubbing skin off at that point.
is fucking getting after it, dude.
Right? Just with the puckered lips too.
Yeah, just the puckered lips. He likes the imagination of it. He doesn't need much. So that fucking happens,
Simpler
and then
times.
fucking the Porsche flies by, and he's going like 100 and something, and he's like, oh no. So then like he books it after him. And then I don't know how Farva does it, but Farva somehow ends up in front of the Porsche
Yeah.
because he blocks the road and he arrests fucking Rabbit. That was fucked up. It's like, same team, man. Same team. And then it pops over to Thorny, and he's like, yeah, he's talking to his wife, and he's like, hey, no jumping on the bed. And you're meant to think like it's his kids or something. And then he go in, and it's the fucking Germans. Is where you see our set of tits for the movie.
Yeah.
Each Broken Lizard movie has a set of tits in it.
Really?
You only
Well,
get one.
There's Beer Fest. I know there's tits all over in Club
Yeah,
Dread.
in Beer Fest, they it's like the Icelandic chicks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then in Club Dread, there's like a bunch of nude people. It's like the party movie. I haven't seen Quasi. Oh, I don't think there's tits in Slam and Salmon. And I like how he's like, all right, who wants a mustache wide? And she's like, I want one. I want one. His wife's like, come on, can't we keep them for a little while longer? So they're swinging with the Germans. And then it breaks back to Foster when he like calls the Ursula at the precinct to pretend like he's like a streaker. It's a flasher. And this is where he finally breaks through her defenses, and she's like, all right, fine, I'll give you a chance. Only after she puts a shotgun to her back, she's like, baby, I'm gonna butter your buns.
Yeah, but before that, there was a little piece of commentary between her and one of the other cops, and
about
he
his
was talking
wife?
about the toilet paper. He was like, if you were my wife, I would take you down a peg or two. Like, damn, dude, just speaking on the high percentage of cops that beat their wives.
Yep, that dude's a fuck. The whole Spurbury police is a bunch of fucking assholes.
Yeah,
I caught on to that too. I'm like, damn, this dude beats his wife. Fuck. Like, damn,
for
buddy.
toilet paper.
Over toilet paper. Fucking scumbag. So Foster, he almost gets sexually assaulted by Ursula. She luckily decides not to do it. They have sex in the Winnebago, and they fucking break the bed, and then underneath there's like duffel bags full of weed.
With the same sticker.
Same markings of Johnny Chimpo. And they're like how when he's explaining to what happened to the rest of the precinct, he's like, so I jimmy the lock real quick. You could say it was my sixth or even my seventh sense. And nobody fucking believes him because he's such a bad cop.
Yeah.
And the captain's like, this is good police work. Yes, this is what we need. Oh my God. He just keeps fucking up because then him and Ursula bounce back to them fucking in the cab, and they lock themselves in the back of the
cruiser.
In the back of the cruiser. And they're gonna go undercover. Oh, this one Farva gets released back on the
Patrol.
road because Rabbit gets in trouble for the Porsche incident.
Yeah.
So Farva's with Thorny, Car Ramrod. And then Foster and Mac are going to try and take the semi to go undercover. And he's like, because some reason you had to bust the doors off the back of our cruiser. He's like, I told you I was sleeping. He's like, yeah, oh, that's right. Those kids with the wrenches. He's like, I was in a deep sleep. What a fucking lie. The fucking kids with the wrenches. Oh my God.
How were they able to take off the door from the inside? From the inside of a back of a cruiser?
I don't know, because I feel like
you
would have had to like open the door in order to like take it off the nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they shot it. They just, I know, wouldn't that have been easier? Just shoot out the window and then open it from the outside?
Yeah.
Because I don't think those windows are bulletproof.
Maybe they teach officers how to get out from the back of vehicles.
Oh.
Just like a secret
Damn.
technique.
It's part of their training
Yeah.
at the academy.
Super secret.
We should have interviewed a cop to see how realistic this movie was. Oh, damn it.
There's definitely a lot of precincts out there that operate this way.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Especially out like in the middle of nowhere, like they are in fucking Vermont.
Right.
Like fucking Spurbury. The fuck? Ever heard of that town? So Foster and Ursula, they got a thing. They're fucking. Farva's out on the road, and I like Farva's like Thorny. He's like, "Come on, Thorny, let's play one of those. Let's play one of those games that I'm always hearing about." He's like, "What's that? What's that cat game that you played?" He's like, "It's not a cat game. It's meow." It's like Mac Bet Foster. You couldn't say meow 10 times. He's like, "Meow 10 times." Like, "Oh, you guys are real wild." He's like, "I can say meow. I can say moo. I'll call this guy a chicken fucker." And he just like jumps out. Thorny's like, "Farva, chill out, chill out." He goes up to the fucking couple. He's like, "License and registration, chicken fucker." Fucking Farva, dude. You know those are his parents?
Yeah.
Really?
I saw that.
Yeah, those are his parents. These are people he called chicken fuckers too.
Yeah, I guess they told his parents that he was gonna say some off the wall stuff to them, but they didn't expect him to call them chicken fuckers.
That's really?
Yeah.
I feel like out of all the off the wall shit, like I'm like, that's pretty tame. That's pretty. I don't know. Maybe not. I guess when you're like,
what is off the wall to you, bro?
Calling
What's
someone as a police officer, calling someone a chicken fucker right
that
off
is
the
pretty.
rip like
that
that.
is
Like,
pretty off the wall. Yeah.
license and registration, chicken fucker.
And then you
Damn.
fucking caw at them. Oh my god. This next scene, I feel like, is the second most iconic scene for me, the burger scene.
Yeah.
But before that, I like how the O'Hagan calls the Spurbury chief, and he's like, "Come on, work with me," because he's like, he wants to get like, he's like, "Let me team up with you guys," because fucking he knows the chick is related to this, and he's like, "I'm gonna embarrass you." He's like, "Yeah, how embarrassed?" He's like, "As embarrassed as you were when we found out that you were fucking your cousin."
Yeah,
she's
dude.
not my cousin.
Click.
Sounds-
Instantly hangs up.
Oh, that was fucking funny.
Damn.
That's a fucking burn.
It's like one of those pieces of information that like didn't need to be had, but it made that scene like so much better.
Yeah,
Just
definitely.
to add on to like how unlikable this other police chief is.
Not only how unlikable he is, but like how much history of hate there is between the two groups, because O'Hagan and the chief have known each other for a while, obviously.
Yeah. In 77.
Yes, in 77 when he was fucking his cousin.
God damn. And then they don't
man.
elaborate anymore on it. That's
No,
it.
that's
That's
just
all
it.
that's mentioned is it's just he's a cousin fucker.
Like, well, it's a real small town. Oh, bad. And then we switch back to the second most iconic scene, in my opinion. When Farva and Thorny go to the burger shop, and Farva's like, "Let me get a double Baca Cheeseburger." He's like, "A double Baca Cheeseburger? It's for a cop." Why do you think he said that? You think he was going to spit on it right off the bat?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, there's no other reason why you would mention that.
And he's like, "What'd you do that for? You going to spit on it?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Hold the spit." And you hear the guy in the background. He's like, "Got it, holding the spit." He's like, "Let me get an apple pie and let me get a liter of cola." He's like, "Liter cola? Do we sell liter cola?" But the cashier was being annoying because he asked him, he's like, "Oh, do you want to like supersize, I guess?" And he's like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "It's only 25 cents. He's like, "I don't want it." And he's like, "Let me get a liter of cola." And then he's like, "You don't have liter cola." And then fucking Thorny's like, God damn it, Farva, just get a large. He's like, I don't want a large Farva. I want a goddamn fucking liter of cola. Oh my god. And then they go, they get their food and he opens his burger. He's like, I look like spit to you. And Thorny's like, yeah. He's like, fuck it.
Didn't even care about the spit.
Eats the burger anyways. I thought the way they did prank him was fucking hilarious though.
Yeah.
So they get like, think of it like a McDonald's cup, guys. And then you play the Monopoly game and you can peel off that sticker. I don't feel like too many places don't really do this thing anymore. So they do that, and where you peel off the sticker, they like drilled a hole, and then they covered it with the sticker. So then when Farva went to open the sticker, the hole just shat out a bunch of fucking liter of cola all over his fucking shirt. Oh, that shit was hilarious. And he's like, you goddamn. Good. Go.
I was gonna say that was the final straw. The fucking, not the spit, the fucking the drink spilling on him.
He just jumps the fucking the counter and just starts kicking his ass. Thorny has to fucking wrestle him off. Oh man. So then he gets arrested by the locals, right?
Did you guys have the subtitles on during the movie?
Yeah.
No.
When Farva says he wants a liter of cola, the cashier repeats it back. And when he repeats it back, he says it all in like one word. So instead of it saying liter, it's liter cola. So he's like, I don't even know what liter cola is. What are you talking about, Farva?
That sounds like liter cola.
Do we have
liter cola?
Yeah. Dude, those food workers, man, they had some huge balls, those guys.
Yeah, dude.
Spit in a cop's burger, like after that whole interaction.
That's fucking wild, dude.
That's like, I know that's breaking like a slew of like food
safety
regulations,
dude.
But like, is that like a like instant arrest? Is that like assault?
Yeah, you can't.
I know
spit in
spitting
on
food. Someone is assault, but like spitting in their food,
I'm pretty sure it is. Because like, what if you give them herpes?
Yeah, right.
Like, I'm pretty sure that gets you arrested for sure. That's ballsy as fuck. And then you prank a cop? Like, you're just asking to get your ass beat, dude. Like, that's no fuck. Cop will fuck you up over some shit like that. I feel like most people would fuck you up over some shit like that.
Yeah.
Spitting on food, it can be considered a form of assault. It involves the intentional contamination of food with harmful substances.
Brass balls,
some big old cojones on them.
No
drop wings and frying them right up.
Dropping wings.
Fucking Scaff would drop wings sometimes and just put them back in.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah,
the floor of a food truck's fucking filthy, dude.
They get grimy back there sometimes.
Well,
that was the only time though. That's the only time I ever experienced shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, before going into the food industry, I thought that shit happened like constantly, but it doesn't. It hardly ever happens.
That shit's like a mad offense because you can get a restaurant shut down for doing some shit like that. That's all bad. Like, didn't some lady put like a finger in like the Wendy's chili or something like that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Fucking wild,
Where do you
dude.
get a finger? Fucking.
I'll get you a toe.
Yeah, I get you a toe. You just need a Walter.
That's it. You need a Walter. All you need.
Bro, like, that's over the top though. Like a whole finger, like no one's gonna notice a missing finger. Like, whose finger was it? Like, some Wendy's workers just back there fingerless, just still working the line. Like, just put a Band-Aid on it, get back on the line. We're short staffed. Nobody else wants to come in.
It's got a bloody stump, just fucking seasoning up the fucking sauce, acting as a thickening agent as it coagulates. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I like how Farva gets arrested and the Spurbury police is just spraying him down with water and they're just fucking chucking fucking confectionery sugar at him.
And then scrubbing him with a broom.
Yeah. And then fucking the chief comes in and he's like, "Oh, Farva." He basically tries to like bribe him, right? He's like, "I could use a cop like you on the force. If you tell me what it is." I like how before he starts that, Farva's like, "Sugar, it's delicious." And he tries to
Farva's a fucking idiot.
he's a fucking dumbass.
Doofus, that guy.
They try to buy his loyalty, and he's like, "I'm highway." What do you say? I'm all highway,
Yeah.
which is cool because like they treat Farva like shit. So like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he turned on him.
Yeah.
And I like how he gets picked up, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going, Charlie's Angel?" To Ursula.
Another one of those callbacks.
Yeah, because that's what Foster calls her, Charlie's Angel, right?
Yeah. And she's like, oh, that's something like that's so original, or haven't heard that one before.
That's right. That's right. And then this is the scene that happens where they get high as fuck watching
Johnny
Afghanimation of Johnny Chimpo and the Germans fucking telling them translating for them, and that's all like death to the Americans, like down with the infidels or something like that.
It's just some propaganda.
It's like a mad propaganda. And they're like, so the butlers, so and so. He's like, see, that's the brilliant part about this. We don't know. It's like, what? The animation was wild looking though.
That reminds me of like, I don't know,
What's that?
less
A real?
developed country animation. It's random that Rapid like already kind of knew about it. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen like any other types of animation outside of like your usual like British or like European or Japanese. Like I've never seen like Afghan or like Indian animation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how he knew it. Also, Rabbit was like he was stealing weed from the
Yeah,
lockup
he
anyway,
was.
so maybe that's how he knew it, because he saw
I was like
the cartoon.
synonymous with like potheads in that region.
Yeah, in Vermont.
These guys have a lot of I don't want to say a lot of German, but there's a lot of German themes in this movie and Beer Fest.
No shit,
I wonder if
huh?
there's like a heavy German population in the Northeast United States.
Oh, look at some of their like fucking last names.
Because like
Look at him.
kind of going into Fallout 76, that's one of the Carolinas, right?
Yeah.
Fashionat?
Helvita.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Farva, Kevin Hefferman. Hefferman's probably German, no?
Yeah, and Stolhanks,
I think that's
like
Swedish
Norwegian.
or Norwegian or
Or-
something.
Yeah.
So I think his name translates to like steel hand.
Oh
or
yeah, yeah.
hand of steel or something like that.
Interesting random fact about that guy. You know, he's an amputee. He only has
What?
one leg. And his
Really?
other leg is a prosthetic. Yeah. So in one of the scenes, it's like
Farva?
I had never noticed it. No,
No,
Rabbit.
rabbit.
So when they pull up after they get locked in the truck, Ramathorn is able to get up onto the truck relatively easy, but then Rabbit is having some trouble, and Foster has to help him up, and it's probably because he only has one leg.
Oh, crazy. I had no idea. Damn, I didn't catch that. That's a good fact. So then they're watching Chimpo, they're getting high as fuck, and then this is the pistol whip scene with the shenanigans.
Yeah, there's also another joke in there, and the chief comes in and he's like, "What did you find out at the weigh station?" It's like, I found out that my cruiser weighs 1,600 kilograms.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because they're all fucking
All
useless.
faded.
The Chief's like, God damn, like he's all disappointed in them too. You can see it in his face. He's like, motherfuckers.
Yeah, because at this point in the movie, it's like it's getting even more and more serious about them being shut down, and it just seems like they just keep fucking up their opportunities over and over again. It's like, okay, maybe by now they would actually tighten up, but we're already towards the end, and they're still fucking around, getting high with the
The
prisoner.
German fucking smoking their fucking lockup supply.
dudes.
I'm like, Rabbit. You see earlier that Rabbit stole some? Like he had the weed in his
Yeah.
pocket. It's like fucking A, dude. So then all this happens, and then
It's Foster and Ursula. They meet up at the restaurant, and they're supposed to both dress like bikers.
bikers. That shit was hilarious.
He's dressed like a cyclist.
Yeah, he's just like a fucking cyclist, and she's like in like leather and shit.
He's like, oh, bikers.
I'm an idiot.
And then
They come up with
they're
the plan,
in like
right?
collusion. Yeah. They're colluding with each other to get back at the Spurberry PD.
Yeah, because their plan is to get the weed from the Winnebago and then present it to the governor at the governor's thingamajig.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think it's a pretty good plan. I think this is the only part in the movie where they have their shit together.
These two?
Well, the whole plan, like the crew actually like is competent. Yeah. Before that happens, this is when I like when Mac has a metal cup. They keep shooting
right
him
after.
They keep shooting him in the dick, and he's like, Thorny, how's your aim today? He's like, been dead on all day. He's like, what about that little guy? He's like, that little guy? I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Because there's like they're all dead center, and then there's one bullet that's like in the fucking neck.
Dude, Thorne's a fucking crack shot, though.
Yeah, he is.
That dude didn't even need time to like aim or set. He just pulled up his gun and shot.
Boom, right in the fucking dick. Ding. I like how he goes up. He's like, they do it twice, and he goes up to Rabbit. He's like, all right, your turn, Rabbit. He's like, is it going to hurt? He's like, I'm not going to lie to you. You're going to feel a little pinch. Then, right, that's when the captain rolls up.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, I invented this game, Rabbit. And he grabs Tony's gun, and he shoots the fucking car window. And he's like, but in my day, we use blanks. He's like, you're a sick son of a bitch, Mac. He's like, thank you, Captain. That shit that's too much.
Shenanigans.
Bad shenanigans. Right. That's a crazy ass shenanigans.
Yeah, that's life or death right there.
I like their plan. So the plan is Mac and the captain are at the banquet. So they're kind of chopping it up with the mayor, being like, and the mayor's like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, dude. It's not looking good. And like, it's cool. Well, they're doing that. Foster and Thorny break into the locals to get the Winnebago. Well, Rabbit is wearing Mac's Halloween costume of like a hillbilly fucking a bear. So then people keep calling in to the Spurberry police that there's like a guy fucking a bear, and Rabbit has like a radio playing like a bear like growling and shit, and he's like, woo, he's just like up in the bear and shit. And he's like, I know it's illegal, man. The Spurberry guys, he's like, I know it's illegal. I know it's against the law. And they're like, bear fucker. Do you need assistance? What a fucking costume, dude. Do you think that was a real costume or they made it for that movie?
I can see them making that specifically for that movie. So ridiculous.
That shit's fucking hilarious. And then Farva shows up and then like, I thought you were gone. He's like, I tried. He's like, I thought you said it was at the Bolorama. He's like, I tried to call you. He's like, it's open bar, dude. He orders like 6 schlitzes. He's like, we don't have schlitz. He's like, fuck it, give me whatever's free. This dude's just ordering 6 beers at a time.
It's open bar, man.
He's just fucking pounding. I like how the plan's going through and it just progresses. It's like the plan's half the screen and then the other half the screen's just Farva getting fucked up. It's just him like at one point he's just like yakking in the restroom. Dude, he gets fucking belligerent. Open bar, man. Then the locals figured out their plans because they have the weed presented for the governor. I like how the governor is like, yeah, I'm gonna dip out. Cause like, oh, what? She's like, what is this? She's like a drug bust. She's like, cocaine. She's like, weed. She's like, what am I doing here? I was like, that's really funny. Weed's too small time.
Even back then.
Yeah. And I like how the plan's busted and like they open the thing and it's all cardboard and it's like, what? Please recycle or something like that. Separate for recycling.
Yeah.
And then Farmer pops open the champagne. He's like, Farmer's number 1. Dude,
that's an idiot.
I've never been to a work party where someone's gotten that belligerent. So fucking Farva, it's all schlitzed out, fucked up. And then Foster thinks Ursula betrayed him. So he's like, he goes up to her, he says some pretty mean shit. Like, were you just using me? Blah, 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 blah. She fucking tases his ass. And then Matt goes up to him because he's like, you fucking traitor. And he was going to punch him. And he's like, oh, fuck it. And then back at the fucking precinct, I like how Brian Cox is all denim Dan, fucking O'Hagan. He's just like in full denim. And they're just getting fucked up. And he's like, Foster, you got fucked up. It's called a honey pot. You should have known better. Whatever. He's like, you too, shake hands. And I like how he's like, all right, who's taking a shot? And they're like, oh, he's like, who's taking a shot? And everyone's like, all right, fuck it, I'll take one. And if you look, he pours everyone a full shot, but he pours himself like a halfer little baby shot. I was like, damn.
I didn't notice that.
Damn. I was like, damn. I was like, what kind of soft shot? I'm like, well, he was pretty drunk already. So I was like, maybe he's pacing himself.
He is carrying that bottle around for the rest of
that bottle of Black Label.
Yeah, that bottle was his bottle. So he was already like drinking.
And then Farva comes, they hear like some rustling in the I don't know,
the locker room.
The locker room. And they see Farva in a Spurbury police fucking uniform. And fucking I like O'Hagan's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you wearing that in my precinct? And I like how Farva's like, hey guys, we'll drink together. It's cool. We're still cops. He's like, excuse me, he's like scooting by him and shit. I was like, that they all wanted to fucking murder him. They're like, you fucking sold us out. And he's like, no, I'm a police officer or something like that. And I like how they fucking strip him and they handcuff him to the toilet.
And they put a lime in his mouth.
Oh yeah, they put a lime in his mouth and then they go on a fucking like a vandalism spree. Yeah, they go on a joyride in the Spurbury police car and they fucking fuck up the chief of Spurbury's house. Like piss on it, they break his mailbox. The captain's like calling him out to fight.
And then they pull someone over.
Oh yeah, and then he pisses on the side of his car and he's like, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
What a way to go out.
Foster calls Ursula to apologize because Farva was the one that sold him out. And then captain goes up to her. He's like, Ursula, I'm naked. I was like, dude, that is a bad fucking drunk person thing to do. When you're on the phone with your girl and someone just comes up and says something stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit is funny. But then they're talking to Ursula, and Ursula's like, you really want to get these guys back? So she tells them to meet him at a local spot, and we find out that Ursula knew the whole time that the cops are up to something nefarious because they find out that the cops are dirty. So they see Gallicanukis, the guy who is driving the truck, and they follow him to an airfield where they're running security for these Canadian drug dealers. They're French Canadian because the guy speaks French. And they see that like, holy shit, these guys are dirty. And they're like, oh, we gotta bust them. And like, with what? We don't have any fucking weapons. And then they look at the back of the cruiser and they have like what they put like Christmas lights all over the car. Flares, and then Farva has a blow up doll with Ursula written on it. They tie it to the top of the cruiser.
One part that I liked about this scene is to show how drunk they were. Mac, every time Mac talked, he would shush himself right after.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Be like, wait a minute, guys, we got to do this. Shh. Like this dude.
They're all fucked up.
I like how they're all mobbing around with beer bottles the whole time.
They're fucking, and then they all have beer bottles, and the captain has the bottle of Black Label.
Yeah,
they're fucking. Isn't that bad? I like how you could see like throughout the night the bottle's getting lower and lower. Because by the time they do their shit, it's like almost gone.
Yeah.
And then Farva catches up to them, right, in his Camaro, and he's like gonna arrest them.
Well, so Farva shows up and he's thinking like that the cops were on a call and they were there to bust Gallicanukis.
That's right.
And then that's when the cops are like, Farva, you fucking idiot, like don't point the gun at them. And then everyone starts pointing the guns at each other, and then the car, shows up with all the flares and the sex doll.
That's right. And then they get into a rumble.
Another rumble, yeah.
This time they fuck them all up. We find out the captain was a 2-time Navy champ.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, damn, dude. I'm like, how bad are these guys at fighting? Because these dudes are fucking blacked out, and they just kicked everybody's ass. And then
Knew how to fight.
So then when did they talk to Farva and he starts crying? And he's like, I did betray you guys.
Right before this battle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because Farva tries to stop them when they're gonna go after the truck, because that's when they see Gallicanucas. They're like, oh shit, we gotta go after him. And then Farva comes in and stops them. And then they have like that whole "you betrayed us" talk.
That's right. That's right. And then they kick everybody's ass. They say they can make the bus, the corrupt cops. They take down the drug ring. They think they're back at, it looks like the captain's house, or they're at Thorny's house, somebody's house.
Yeah.
And the captain's reading the note from the governor to find out if they saved their precinct, and they still didn't save their precinct. It's like shit, they're still getting shut down. I guess that was the first scene that they actually filmed, which I think is pretty random. They filmed the ending first.
I wonder why.
Tarantino style.
Hell yeah.
Well, I guess you have to, I don't know. Personally, you have to have a good ending. I feel like if a movie is good throughout, but then the ending just takes a shit, then I consider that movie to be a bad movie.
I can see that.
Like a lot of movies nowadays don't know how to end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wrapping it up's the hardest part, I feel like. Then we see them like it goes like 3 months later, and Rabbit and Thorny are delivering St. Inkies to this like house party.
Yeah.
Like he's like, damn it, I knew we should have brought the dolly, and they dropped the beer, and he's like, well, I hope they like foam. I was like, damn, that sucks. And then they deliver it, and it's the fucking same guys that they pulled over the first time. And they start fucking with them. And they start fucking. He's like, actually, I think it'd be better for the feng shui of the party if we move the keg over here. He's like, actually, I think it's better for the flow if we move the keg over here. And I'm like, all right, fucking with them. And then Thorny tells Rabbit, he's like, you ready for the fun part? He's like, yeah, let's do the fun part. And then they take their uniforms off, and they find out they're Spurberry police now.
Yeah.
And they break up the party, and then they just do a bunch of drinking games with the fucking with the guys. Oh, that one dude jumps out of the basement. He's like, I love acid.
I like that Rabbit has a mustache in this scene.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were joking around and saying that Rabbit didn't grow a mustache like earlier in the movie. And Rabbit was like, I've been growing this out for 3 weeks, and he had like no hair. So at the very end, it looks like he has like a mustache. And then when he takes off his jumpsuit, he also rips off his mustache. Like, haha, it was me.
That shit's funny. That's funny. I like their drinking games. I like when the guys pretending to be the chicken and they're throwing shit at him, and he's like, ding. Yeah. It changes directions, and then Farva throws a fucking fire extinguisher.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's Beer Fest mugs on the fireplace mantle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
I didn't notice that. That's cool. Because was Beer Fest their next movie?
Nah. It was.
Or was it Club Dread?
Club Dread. And then Beer Fest.
So, I mean, they might have already written it by then.
Maybe, or they're working on it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how the movie ends. And then our final scene is seeing what happened, seeing the dash cam footage of fucking what happened with Farva in the school bus incident. And these kids just like punk him, and he starts like brawling with like a group of like middle school kids.
In Farva.
That shit was funny, dude. Oh my God. What a great film. Hilarious.
Yeah. One of those movies that has me laughing like audibly often.
Dude, I was dying throughout. Did you guys have any interesting facts? I said most of them throughout the movie where they applied. But I guess the movie was made for about 1.5 to 3 million, and it made 23.2 million. Pretty nice turnaround for its how much it made compared to how much it took to make it.
What I guess qualifies this as a cult classic because it wasn't like a blockbuster hit.
Yeah, well, I guess that's like a cult following because like it's like I don't know, like a bad movie that a lot of people like.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess fucking IMDb, no, Rotten Tomatoes.
That's like a dedicated fan base.
Yeah, I got a
And
couple.
and I think the people who are dedicated to it are like pretty dedicated to it. So
Yeah,
I
like
think that's
people who like this movie bang for this movie.
yeah.
It's a banger.
What do you got
Case.
first one?
Drop the knowledge.
So I guess when they had originally written this movie, it was supposed to take place in the 1970s.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
And
Oh
I guess
shit.
the inspiration for this movie was Jay and either Lemmy or Heffernan, maybe all three of them were like taking a road trip to like a bachelor party.
Mhm.
They were like fucked up the whole time. And they thought about like how crazy it would be if like cops pulled them over and started like fucking with them. So that's where they like got the idea for the movie.
Nice. I also saw that that bulletproof cup scene. I guess it was shot or the shooting range was like really close to a prison. And so they had Mac only wearing the cup, and so a lot of the prisoners from the prison were like shouting at them while they were filming.
That's funny, dude. That's fucking funny. No, I think that was it for mine. I think I said the rest during the film. Well, my boy Ebert gave it 2.5 stars out of 4. He said it's a movie that makes you want to like it. He said he's like I can't like suggest this movie, but he's like I can't not suggest this movie. It's a movie that makes you want to like it.
Dude, this guy,
That's
get
my
out of
boy,
here.
my boy.
Get out of here
Ebert.
with that bullshit. Last week's episode, it was what? Oh, it looks like an animated movie and
Looks
it
like a
feels like an
cartoon.
animated movie.
He's like
So that's why I don't like it.
yeah, it's the adult themes don't fit with the animation style.
It's your boy.
Should we get into our reviews? So do you guys have any more facts?
One more, I guess.
Unload it.
Jay Chat. I'm not even gonna try his last name, but the name of his character in this movie, Arcot, is his actual dad's name.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Is Arcot Ramathorn.
All right, should we get into our reviews?
Yeah.
All right. I'll start us off this week. All right, so I really like this movie. I think it's hilarious. It's a great stoner film. It's a great not stoner film. If you just want like a good silly time movie, I like this movie. In my mind when we were watching it again, because I hadn't seen it for a while, I was afraid that the jokes wouldn't hold up, that they would be a little dated. But they hold up pretty well because a lot of the comedy is based around like their skits. Because usually I feel like for these types of stoner type of movies, they're like really stuck in their time and like the comedy and the sexism of that era. You don't really get that in this movie. So I thought it was super funny. Their one-liners are hilarious. I am rating this movie based on the other comedy movies that we've already seen. So for me, I give it a B+. Hilarious movie. I don't think it's as funny as This Is Spinal Tap. I don't think it's as funny as The Big Lebowski. But I do think this movie is hilarious. So it's a B+ for me. Highly recommend this movie. If you just want to sit down, you want to like a low impact movie that's going to make you laugh, this is a good one. Definitely highly recommend it to anybody who likes those National Lampoon style, like quirky quirky comedy type movies. Very funny. What about you, Mr. Cea?
C+.
C+. Ooh, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. I wanted to like this movie more, but I just I don't know.
Fucking Ebert.
I don't know. I think that there are funnier movies. And I mean it was funny, like it did its job. And I was also worried that some of the humor was going to be dated because I mean I went back and I saw what was another really big stoner movie? How High? Is that I went back and watched that one, and that one, those jokes were really dated. So I was kind of concerned that this was going to be the same. But it wasn't. So it was a nice surprise to do that. But yeah, I don't know. For me, it just didn't hit as well as the other movies that we've seen. And other movies just in general that came out like after and before, I just didn't find this one as funny, and I never really have. But I liked it. I mean, I would recommend this movie if you want to have just like a good silly time, because the humor is way more just dudes being silly, being cops being silly, and it's like a nice change from cops being bad guys. Yeah, C plus.
All right, so I got a C plus from Cea and a B plus from me. Twan, finish us off.
Wow. Yeah, I'm right there with
I am
you.
I am also shocked by the C plus.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Dale. I'd give this a B plus, like the highest B plus you can give before you get into an A minus. I love this movie. It's hilarious. Each time I watch it, I laugh. The jokes hold up. The comedy, the writing is great. They're very quippy and like witty with the jokes that they have throughout. Story was easy to follow along. You know what's happening the whole time, and it's just one of those movies that I've liked ever since the first time I've seen it. And like I said earlier, I haven't really stopped watching it. I always watch it if it's available to watch on any sort of streaming site. Especially when I don't have anything to watch or I don't know what I want to watch. I just want to laugh. I'll pop this movie on. So I really like this movie. B plus for sure.
So we got 2 B pluses and a C minus. No, C plus. Sorry. So we got all pluses: C plus, B plus, B plus. I mean, I think it's a pretty good film. Didn't hit as hard for Matt, but he did say it's an enjoyable watch, just not. But that's it. It's enjoyable. It's a good time. All right, it's that time. It's that time of the week, folks. Oh no! Wait, there it is. It's wheel time.
Let's go.
Wheel.
Wheel nigh the wheel guy. Wheel. Wheeling is fun. Yeah.
Wheel.
Right.
Wheel.
Click. Ready?
Wheel.
Oh God, here we go.
Wheel.
Do I see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey there?
I think it's the second one, part 2.
Part 2.
Oh yeah, it's a 30-second long spin.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Did you call it? Did you fucking call it?
Let's go.
Oh boy.
Toxic Avenger. Mulholland Drive.
Mulholland Drive.
Idiocracy. Idiocracy.
Nice.
Nice.
The wheel has spoken.
Another good movie. Thank you, Wheel. We are forever grateful.
Right. Idiocracy. All right, let's fucking mark it.
Back-to-back comedies, huh?
Yeah.
You want us to laugh, Wheel?
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for another episode. The Wheel has spoken. We are doing Idiocracy, the movie that brought the nation the illustrious shoe brand Crocs. Look forward to seeing you guys all next week. Just a quick reminder, if you guys want to support the pod, go ahead and click the support button at the bottom of each episode. Give a little donation if you're feeling donatey, but if not, it's totally fine. We love making the pod. We do it for you guys. Thanks for joining us each week. Make sure you follow us on all our social medias. We are on X/Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and pretty soon Threads. Just keep an eye out for all those. If you don't give us a follow, give us a follow. We post some pretty funny shit sometimes. As always, I have been your host, The Dale, followed by my 2 co-hosts, Mr. Cea.
Thank you.
And Twan.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Bye.
Adios.